Welcome to Season 3 of Health Fit, the Healthy Lifestyle Show. Our team has prepared so much more knowledge and advice for you, and I can't wait to share it. Today's episode is called Before the Burn, so we will focus on how to warm up and why warm-ups are important before increasing the intensity of our workload. Then we will make a delicious snack in the Health Fit kitchen, which will serve to energize you before working out. Following, Mika will introduce natural ways to wake your body up, and we will finish up with an interview about a sport that will take you to a brand new level of fitness. Hey guys, I'm so glad you're here with me today because we're actually going to take a little stroll at the gym. We're going to be looking at several different warm-up options. You can do it in case you're looking for some variety to your workouts. And you are actually able to do all of these at any gym you go to. So let's go ahead and look at our first option. All right, so over here we have a track, and it's okay if you don't have a track, but for the sake of this demonstration, if you have a track, I would like to do sprints. So try and go for, say, 5 sprints if you're a beginner. If you're more intermediate, maybe 7 or 8. So go ahead and sprint one direction, walk back, which is going to be your break, and sprint again, and keep walking back until you get about 5 or 7 sprints. Also, if you like more endurance running, try running for a whole mile. I mean, you'd be surprised how warmed up that will get you. If running's not your thing, that is okay, because we have some bikes for you over here, as you should too. Go ahead and get on a bike, start pedaling for about 2 minutes on an easy level, then go ahead and increase it to a harder level and come up on that bike as if you're going up a hill, then go back on easy, go back on hard, and keep alternating for about 10 to 15 minutes until you feel pretty warmed up. All right, let's move on to the next and final one. All right guys, here we have a rowing machine, which I actually particularly like if I want to warm up my upper body, especially if I'll be working out my back. So you can change up the difficulty on the rowing machine in 2 ways. You can change the level so it makes it a little harder to pull, or you can also add some variation through your grip. So for example, you can hold with an overhand grip and bring it in. You can hold it with an overhand grip and bring it out, or you can also change up your overhand grip to an underhand grip and pull it in again, which is going to target your biceps. Thank you for watching, and don't forget that a warm-up should be 10 to 15 minutes, just enough to raise your body temperature up and make you sweat. Hey there, this is Health Fit Kitchen. Before we get started with today's recipe, let's hit some major points on what a pre-workout snack should look like. Carbohydrates are the body's main source for energy because our bodies break them down the easiest. When our bodies break down carbohydrates, they turn into glycogen, and then our muscles use them as long as we're being active. If we're sedentary, then the carbohydrates will be stored as fat. Therefore, if you want to treat yourself with some chocolate carbs, the best time to do it is before you work out. Apart from the chocolate treats, there are also other types of carbs which are more appropriate and will give you energy for a longer time. We will look at those in a moment. Protein is also an important component of a pre-workout snack because it will also give you energy but simultaneously help the growth of your muscles. Overall, it is important to get enough protein per day depending on how much muscle mass you have, and a pre-workout meal is just another perfect opportunity to eat more protein. Fats are the only macronutrient you need to go low on before working out because they are digested very slowly by our bodies, therefore making us feel lazy or tired during our workouts. A small amount of unsaturated fats, such as in nuts, nut butter, and avocados, is more beneficial than saturated fat found in cheeses or red meats. However, even an hour wouldn't be enough for a high-fat food to be digested in order for the energy to be used by our body. So, keeping this in mind, today I will show you how to make overnight oatmeal. Don't worry, this segment won't last overnight. First of all, I want to bring your attention to our jar right here up front. This is what the ready oatmeal will look like in the morning when it's stayed overnight in the refrigerator. You can feel free to make your own in a separate jar as well and put it in the refrigerator, or you can also make it in a bowl and put that in the refrigerator. For the purpose of the segment, I'm gonna be mixing all the ingredients in here so that we can have a better look at what that looks like. So, let's begin with our oats. I have picked rolled oats in this case instead of quick oats, just because they will have enough time to stay overnight and get soft and become a little bit more edible than they are right now. Let's go ahead and add those in. Now, rolled oats or quick oats, oatmeal in general is actually a very good carb because it's a slow-acting carb. So like I said, you will have longer lasting energy during your workout if you pick a carb such as oatmeal. Let's look at our protein. Over here we have half a scoop of vanilla protein. You can go for 1 scoop or half a scoop, whatever you'd like and prefer. The more protein in that case. Here we have some PB Fit. Now PB Fit is actually peanut butter with reduced fat in it, which means that you get more protein for less fat. I mean, what more could you want, really? It's perfect. So let's add that little protein in there. Next up, I'm gonna add a little bit of stevia for added sweetness. Just about half. This is about 1 teaspoon right here. Next up, let's add some nuts. So like I said, nuts are actually a very good resource for some of those healthy fats. About a handful or half a handful would be good. I think that's what I usually go for. So I'm not gonna use all of these up, just about half. Next up, we can flavor with some more dried fruit cranberries, which is more carbs right there. A little bit more sugary, a little bit more quick acting, which is okay because we already have our oats, which are our slow acting carbs. Let's add some Flavor Flav, cinnamon, and vanilla. Oop, there you go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix up my dry ingredients real quick before I add the milk, just to make sure that I have a nice consistency already happening right here. Looking good. All right, and now I'm gonna add that milk. You can go for about as much milk as oats you use. So in this case, I use about half a cup of oats, so I'm gonna use about half a cup of milk. But the milk really depends on how watery you like your oatmeal. So I mean, if you like it thicker, if you like it more watery, just that depends on your taste preference. So again, I'm mixing it nicely here. It's looking pretty good. And like I said, this is what it'll look like in your jar or in your bowl, whatever you decide to use to mix it in. And there you have it. Now, once this is all mixed in like this, I'm just gonna leave it in the refrigerator until the morning, which is about 8 hours or so, maybe more depending on how much you sleep, but even 6 hours would be enough. And it will look like this. The oatmeal will have softened. Now it might also settle on the bottom, which is fine. Just take a spoon, stir it up, and have a go at it. I will, because I'm very curious to try how it's turned out. Oh my God, they're so good. They're so good. So, thank you so much for being with us. Stay tuned. Mika is next.
Hey there, this is Active Updates with Mika Churfan, and I'm here to keep you updated with trending topics and health info to guide your active lifestyle. Today we're talking all about preparing for exercise, and believe it or not, the things you do to get ready for activity are almost as important as doing the activity itself. With that being said, let's explore what it takes to prepare yourself both physically and mentally so you can get the best workout possible. First, let's talk energy. As Joanna mentioned, carbs are the most important macronutrient to include in your pre-workout meal. Without an adequate amount of carbs, you're pretty much setting yourself up for a bad time. Now trust me on this one, far too often workouts get ruined because people assume that their calorie-dense fat stores will take care of energy needs, so they skip eating and end up feeling lightheaded and sometimes even nauseous during their workout. So even if your goal is to lose weight, you still need carbs before you exercise. In the Health Fit Kitchen, you saw how to prepare a great overnight pre-workout meal. But what if you don't have time to prepare something so far ahead of time? Well, luckily there are plenty of options that are quick to prepare and just as energizing as the delicious recipe that Joanna shared with us. For example, A peanut butter and jelly sandwich on whole wheat bread and a glass of orange juice is a great mix of simple and complex carbs to keep you fueled through your whole workout. Some baby carrots dipped in hummus with a turkey wrap will also do the trick. Snacks like these about an hour or two before you exercise will make a huge difference in the way you feel and perform. So besides some good quality carbs to fuel your workout, what else can get you feeling energized? We all know how hard it can be to get up and get motivated to exercise, but one way to wake up those mighty muscles is to stretch them for a few minutes. This will not only get your blood flowing and loosen you up, but it will also help get your mind feeling fresh, focused, and ready for exercise. Getting outside is also a great way to prepare for exercise, especially if you're planning an early morning workout. Nature never sleeps, so getting some fresh air and sunshine can remind you that now is as good a time as ever to get yourself moving. Drinking cold water or having something minty fresh can also give you an extra burst of motivation, and if you like citrus fruits, their tangy deliciousness is bound to get you feeling lively and alert. Still not ready? My personal favorite is music. Setting a catchy alarm or cranking up the volume on your favorite tunes is guaranteed to get you hyped up and ready for action. So next time you're feeling a bit sluggish, but know you need to get that workout in, try some of these energizing techniques. Thanks for tuning in today. This has been Active Updates with Mika. See you next time. Stay active.
Hey guys, our guest today is an inspiring individual who has turned his life around to better the lives of others through his athleticism. But I don't want to give away too much. Let's welcome Justin Sulham. Hey Justin, thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's go ahead and get started with a simple question about your background and how exactly did you involve yourself in fitness and health?
I went to basic training for the U.S. Army, enlisted when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
Graduated from basic training, and when I got back, I had lost a lot of weight. I had lost close to probably about 100 pounds. I think I was about 155, 160 pounds when I got back. And a friend of mine, Scott, he was weight training, and he hit the weights heavy while I was gone.
Okay.
So while I got smaller and weaker, he got bigger and stronger. And I have a very competitive nature.
That sounds competitive.
Scott became my workout buddy and one of my closest friends. And through regular sessions together, I am happy that I surpassed him. But it was that friendly competition that really pushed me. And I'm thankful for that every day.
Okay, that sounds like you really were able to use competition as a positive way to actually become healthier and stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in friendly competition. I think it's healthy. I think it's something that helps us advance as human beings, you know? Not necessarily to know that we are better than someone else, but to know that we gave our best, that we, put our best on the table. And so I just did that every day with him.
Tell us about Strongman. What is Strongman?
What is Strongman? Strongman is Strongman is brutal. Strongman is a test of physical strength, grip strength, mental toughness, the ability to overcome odds. Oftentimes contests are made so heavy that they don't know if you're going to be able to complete a repetition on a specific exercise. If the truck is heavy enough, they don't know if you're going to be able to pull it. And a part of it is because it's a spectacle. It's a show. But unlike World Wrestling Entertainment or something like that, which is a lot of fun to watch, it's also a stage performance. Now, their athletes are incredible. They're in incredible peak condition year-round. They're photo shoot ready. But it's entertainment. And the sport of strongman, although it's a spectacle, it's your physical prowess, your mental toughness are what separate you, from the pack. What separates a winner from a loser is your ability to dig a little bit deeper and do the things that other people aren't willing to do. Okay,
so how does that differ from bodybuilding and powerlifting?
I think that every sport has its sacrifices. I mean, I started, after I got back from basic training, I started bodybuilding. That was my very first sport, was bodybuilding, yeah. And I had a lot of fun with it, but I didn't enjoy the dieting. I like food too much. And, also at my weight class, the bigger and heavier that I got, it was just too hard for me to, drop weight. Plus at 6'5", when I got too thin for a contest, for example, I competed at one, and I got to a very lean, like 205 pounds. It was way too thin. Now, granted, I was young. I was still a kid. I was like 20. But it was just it wasn't a good look for me, So how does it... The ability, okay. I think that the difference between strongman and other sports that are that require you to be in your peak physical condition are your ability to perform and train through the pain. Strongman can be a very painful sport. So I think
Sounds
mental
like it.
toughness, I think mental toughness is what separates
Definitely
that.
more mental thing than
Well,
just
also,
physical.
you know, also, and this is a whole bag of worms for another day, but a lot of strongman competitions are charity based. And
Okay.
so, you know, going out and competing and performing for, you know, a crowd, knowing that you're helping to raise awareness for a cause or money for a cause can be that motivation that you need.
Again, going back to spectacle, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, that's understandable. So tell me, what does training for strongmen look like?
A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of early mornings, and
Okay.
a lot of really expensive food bills. What does training for strongman looks like?
For instance, do you use regular gym equipment or?
That's a good question. I guess it depends on what time of year and if you're prepping for a contest or not. So
Okay.
in like the off season, right? So we don't really have an off season. We are forever using the event implements. So like log pressing, deadlifting cars, Atlas stones, flipping tires, whatever it might be. We're doing that year round, but getting ready for a competition. If we have a competition that has 5 events, because most contests are 5 events,
Okay.
and we know what those 5 events are, we shift our focus to those 5 events. And training to support those 5 events.
Okay.
But if we're just training, if there's no contest in mind and we're just training to stay active in the sport and stay physically capable to jump into a contest at any time, then yeah, we train all events on a regular basis. But to answer your question and circle back, yes, we do use regular gym equipment. I more so than ever now use regular gym equipment since retiring. But yeah, gym equipment, regular gym equipment's a big part of it. But yeah, to excel in the sport, really not to excel, but just to do well and be competitive, you do need to have access to the strongman implements, which is why at my gym that I own, I purchase so many strongman implements because if someone's getting ready for a show, I want them to have a place to come and do it because I know how hard it is to train for a
Yes.
contest not having the appropriate equipment.
Yes, understandable. Tell me a little bit about what you eat when you're training. Obviously, you already touched up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't miss those days. So getting ready for a contest, when I competed, I was a super heavyweight, and I competed at 345 pounds.
Okay.
Right now, I'm at about 295, maybe 300. I ate a good amount today. So about 300 pounds now. So I've dropped almost 50 pounds since competing. But when I was getting ready for a contest before, my calories would be anywhere from 8,500 to 10,000 a day. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it wasn't clean food. So it made it easy to accomplish
That's
that.
interesting. It was not clean food.
Right, whereas now it is. So now my calories are between 4,000 and 4,800 a day,
Okay.
depending. But it's clean
Still a lot.
food. Well, yeah,
Still a lot.
it's more than most people. But again, I mean, I'm larger
Not
than
your
a lot of people.
basic 2,000 calorie diet.
Well, I think that's soon to go away, and more studies are showing that we need more food than experts previously thought. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I'll have between like 400 and 4,800 a day. I think so. Call it an average of 4,500 calories a day, but it's clean food.
Clean food.
So now I really focus on a lot of whole foods, a lot of lean meats, fish.
Good.
I do red meat maybe once every other day.
Okay.
I'm not a big red meat guy.
Yeah.
I never have been. I find it really difficult to digest.
Yes, yes, I've heard that.
It's really hard for me. It's very slow moving.
It is. Red meat
And
is,
so, a lot of leafy greens, big fan of kale, spinach
Mm-hmm.
leaves. I love salads.
Really?
Well, but my downside with loving salads is I can take a salad and turn it into a cheat meal pretty quick.
Okay.
When you load
It's
up the
easy.
cheese and
it's easy. It is easy.
So, but yeah, so a lot of ground turkey, ground chicken, green vegetables. Jasmine rice is my go-to
Mm-hmm.
for rice. I love jasmine rice. Sweet potatoes, grass-fed cow butter. So Kerrygold butter is my go-to for butter, and then a lot of water. So
water.
that's something
Okay.
that's been consistent since I was competing.
Okay.
I always had those whole foods in there. It was just on top of that there were fast food burgers and pizzas and things like that.
So you said you used to compete. Why don't you compete anymore?
In August of 2009, I was competing at the Massachusetts State Championships for the North American Strongman Corporation, and during a deadlift event, the deadlift went wrong. something happened to my back. It folded over in a way that it wasn't supposed to fold, which was a first for me. It had never happened. It was just, I'm inclined to think, the doctors said that there was a good amount of scar tissue in there, and I had previously taken a fall down a full flight of stairs, maybe 6 months before. So maybe I was already injured, maybe not. We'll never know. But what we do know is that 2 discs bulged into my spinal cord and pinched very important nerves in my body that controlled, bodily functions that I needed to have control over. So I got rushed into an emergency back surgery, and there were complications from that. I was in a wheelchair for a little while. I was in a walker for quite a while. I was in a walker for about 6 weeks. And I still to this day have something called drop foot in my left foot. So I'll be walking and my left foot won't pick up all the way and it'll kind of scuff on the ground. Which is a common side effect from back surgery.
Yes.
So that's why I don't compete anymore. However, it's not to say that I won't jump into it and compete again. But I'm enjoying coaching athletes to compete and kind of seeing things from the other side.
And obviously you're still very active.
Still very active.
Still very active, and injuries have not stopped you from being active.
They haven't, and the smarter that I get, the older that I get, and the more that I change my training around and really fine-tune my programming to a point that I know that it's a heavy load and that I'm, redlining with playing with injury, but as long as my form is locked down flawlessly, I know that I don't risk injury. I know that I can ride that red line, but I can do so safely. So I can still train under very heavy loads. And I still do event training for Strongman regularly. Multiple days a week, I have some implement from Strongman in my training. But I'm just much smarter and more responsible, I think, now than I was.
More aware of your body.
Well, when you're competing, a lot of it's ego. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, because I don't think there's a competitive athlete out there that won't say that their ego takes over, in some capacity. And so it's easy for you to push yourself beyond that red line into the danger zone, knowing not only could you get hurt, but you're probably going to get hurt, And, so I've just, in my age, I'm 37 years old now, and just the older I get, the more I just, I want to be smart about it, responsible about it, and also be a good role model and lead by example for my clients, and I don't want them to, I don't want to be the coach that's, a do as I say, not as I do guy. I want to lead by example.
Real quick, what kind of advice would you give someone who is trying to become more active?
Start. You just have to start.
Just do it.
Yeah, you just have to start, and you have to be consistent. It's, a very common question that I get is, how do I get started? Well, you just did. You've put some type of an accountability, some personal accountability out there for somebody else to hold you accountable to. You've expressed the interest to train. So if I have somebody come in and maybe they want to start training with me, and they don't, I'll follow up with them, but it's not a hungry salesperson follow-up. It's somebody who genuinely, I would love for you to train with me, but if you're not going to train with me, that's fine. But train with somebody, or train yourself, but do so smart. I want you to do it intelligently. I don't want to see you get hurt, but you express the interest. You told me that your doctor said that you're at risk of diabetes, or you told me that you're, 200 pounds overweight and you're at risk. Or you're going through a difficult time in your life, and then stress relief from training is a miracle worker.
It is. Again,
and so
mental.
It's mental toughness, and also just the ability to just kind of let go of everything that you got dug down, like Rocky says, down in the basement, right? Just get it out. I love Rocky. But you have to just get started.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just get started. I like it. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in finding out more about Strongman or would like more information from Justin, you can contact him at
www.strongnfitclarksville.com, strong N, letter N, fitclarksville.com, or you can email me at strongnfit2018@gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you, Justin, again for sharing your story. Strongman is definitely a one-of-a-kind sport in the world of fitness. Thank you all for watching, and please follow us on Facebook at The Health Fit Show. I'm Joanna, and we are Health Fit. Stay active.